You're probably wasting 10 hours a week on tasks that AI could finish in minutes, and the worst part? Most people have no idea these tools even exist, so while you're manually grinding through spreadsheets, writing emails, or debugging code at midnight, someone else is using AI to do the same work in a fraction of the time. And they're getting ahead, fast. Look, I get it. The AI space is overwhelming. New tools drop every single day. Everyone's screaming about the next big thing. But here's what nobody tells you. Most of those tools are garbage, overhyped, undercooked, or just flat out don't work like they claim. So I spent the last 3 weeks testing everything: coding assistants, writing tools, image generators, math solvers, the whole lineup, and I found 10 that actually deliver. Tools that don't just sound impressive in a demo, but actually save you real time in the real world. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which tools to use and when to use them. And if you stick around, I'll show you the one AI tool that's currently banned in most universities because it's too good at what it does. So let's jump in. Number 10. QuillBot. If you write anything, emails, blog posts, essays, reports, you need this. QuillBot is an AI writing assistant that paraphrases, summarizes, and polishes your text in seconds. Here's the thing. Writing takes time, a lot of time. The average person spends about 2.5 hours a day just writing emails, documents, and messages. That's over 12 hours a week. QuillBot cuts that down massively. Let's say you draft an email but it sounds too stiff. You paste it into QuillBot, hit paraphrase, and boom, it rewrites the whole thing in a more natural tone. You can choose from multiple modes: formal, casual, creative, even academic. It's not just rewriting words randomly either. The AI understands context. It keeps your meaning intact while improving clarity and flow. But here's where it gets really useful. The summarizer tool. You know when you get a 10-page report and you just need the key points? QuillBot reads the entire thing and spits out a clean summary in seconds. I tested this on a 4,500-word research paper. Took me 8 minutes to skim it manually. QuillBot summarized it in 11 seconds. Same key takeaways. That's not a minor upgrade. That's a game changer. And the grammar checker? It catches mistakes that even Microsoft Word misses. Split infinitives, dangling modifiers, passive voice. It flags all of it and suggests fixes instantly. For anyone writing reports, proposals, or just trying to sound professional in emails, this tool pays for itself in the first week. Number 9. DeepSeek v3. Now we're talking serious coding power. DeepSeek v3 is an open-source AI model that's specifically trained for programming tasks, and it's not just another GitHub Copilot clone. This thing can write, debug, and explain code across dozens of languages: Python, JavaScript, C++, Rust, SQL, whatever you need. Here's what makes DeepSeek different. It's open source. That means developers around the world are constantly improving it, finding bugs, adding features. You're not locked into some proprietary system where you have to pray the company doesn't shut down or change pricing. Plus, it's free to run locally if you have the hardware. No subscriptions, no API costs eating into your budget. But the real power is how it handles complex tasks. I gave it a project: build a full CRUD application with user authentication and database integration. Normally, that's at least 6 hours of work for a decent developer. DeepSeek had a working prototype in under 30 minutes. Was it perfect? No. But it was 85% there. I spent another hour cleaning it up. That's still a 5-hour time save. And the debugging? Insane. You paste in broken code, describe the error, and it not only fixes the bug but explains why the error happened and how to avoid it in the future. That's not just saving time. That's actively making you a better programmer. According to a recent survey from Stack Overflow, developers using AI assistants report saving an average of 7.3 hours per week on coding tasks. That's nearly a full workday. DeepSeek is one of the tools making that possible. Number 8. Gemini. Google's AI is finally starting to live up to the hype, and if you're deep in the Google ecosystem, Gmail, Docs, Sheets, Calendar, Gemini is the glue that ties it all together. You can use it to draft emails, summarize documents, analyze data, and even schedule meetings all from one interface. Let me give you a real example. I had 47 unread emails sitting in my inbox. Most of them were newsletters, updates, random stuff I didn't care about, but buried in there were 3 important messages I needed to respond to. I asked Gemini, summarize my unread emails and highlight anything urgent. In 8 seconds, it gave me a clean breakdown. 3 emails flagged as high priority, the rest categorized by topic. I responded to the urgent ones and archived the rest. Total time, 4 minutes. Would have taken me 20 minutes manually. But here's where Gemini really shines. Integration with Sheets. You can ask it to analyze data without writing a single formula. What's the average revenue per month? Show me the top 5 performing products. Create a chart comparing Q1 and Q2. Gemini processes the request, runs the analysis, and generates the output. No VLOOKUP, no pivot tables, no headaches. Google says Gemini is being used by over 100 million people now. That's a massive adoption rate. And the reason is simple. It works. It's not some experimental beta that crashes every 10 minutes. It's stable, fast, and deeply integrated into tools people already use every day. Number 7. Cursor. If you're a developer, you've probably heard whispers about this one. Cursor is an AI-powered code editor built on top of VS Code, but it's way more than just autocomplete on steroids. This thing can refactor entire code bases, generate tests, and even predict what you're about to type before you type it. Here's the wild part. Cursor learns your coding style. The more you use it, the better it gets at writing code that looks like something you'd actually write. Variable names, comment, structure, even how you organize files. It adapts. And that means less time editing AI-generated code to match your preferences. I tested it on a legacy Python project that desperately needed refactoring. The original developer was long gone, no documentation, messy structure, a complete nightmare. I opened it in Cursor and asked, refactor this code to follow PEP 8 standards and add doc strings. 20 minutes later, the entire project was cleaned up. Proper formatting, clear comments, it even flagged deprecated functions and suggested modern alternatives. And the collaborative debugging feature, you can literally chat with Cursor like you're pair programming with a senior dev. Why is this function throwing a type error? It analyzes the code, traces the error, and explains the fix in plain English. That's not just faster. That's less stressful. No more banging your head against the desk at 2 a.m. wondering why your code won't compile. Developers using Cursor report cutting their debugging time by 40% on average. That's huge when you're racing a deadline or trying to ship a feature before the weekend. Number 6. Wolfram Alpha. Okay, this one's been around for a while, but most people still don't know how powerful it actually is. Wolfram Alpha isn't just a calculator, it's a computational knowledge engine. You can throw complex math problems at it, and it doesn't just give you the answer. It shows you every single step. Let's say you're taking calculus and you're stuck on an integral. You type the problem into Wolfram Alpha. It solves it, but then it also shows you the integration technique, the substitution method, and a graph of the function. That's not cheating, that's learning. You're seeing the process, not just the result, but it goes way beyond math. You can ask it chemistry questions. What's the molecular structure of caffeine? Physics problems. Calculate the trajectory of a projectile launched at 45 degrees with an initial velocity of 30 ms. Data analysis. Compare GDP growth rates between the US and China over the last decade. It pulls from curated datasets and gives you charts, tables, and detailed breakdowns. Students using Wolfram Alpha report saving an average of 5 hours per week on homework, and that's just students. Engineers, scientists, and analysts use it daily for quick calculations and data lookups that would otherwise require digging through textbooks or running manual simulations. Here's the controversial part though, a lot of schools have banned it. Why? Because it's too good. It can solve almost any problem you throw at it, which makes professors nervous. But here's my take. If a tool teaches you the process while solving the problem, that's not cheating. That's education done right. Number 5, DALL-E 3. Image generation has come a long way, like, really far. DALL-E 3, built by OpenAI, is now integrated directly into ChatGPT, and it's insanely good at creating custom visuals from text prompts. Need a logo, a social media graphic, a concept sketch? You just describe it and DALL-E generates it. I tested this for a client project. They needed a series of Instagram graphics for a product launch. Normally I'd hire a designer or spend hours in Canva. Instead, I gave DALL-E a prompt. Create a minimalist product photo with pastel colors, clean lighting, and a modern aesthetic. It generated 4 variations in under 10 seconds. The client picked one. I made minor edits. Done. Total time, 15 minutes. Would have cost $200 and taken 3 days with a designer. But here's where it gets really interesting. DALL-E understands nuance now. You can say things like, make it look like a Wes Anderson film, or give it a 1980s retro vibe, and it nails the style. That level of creative control used to require years of design experience. Now it's accessible to anyone with a keyboard. And the commercial use? Totally allowed. You own the images you create. You can use them in presentations, marketing campaigns, even sell them as prints. That's a massive shift from older AI tools that had confusing licensing restrictions. According to Adobe, 73% of marketing teams are now using AI-generated imagery in at least some of their campaigns. That's not a trend. That's the new normal. Number 4. Stable Diffusion. If DALL is the polished, user-friendly option, Stable Diffusion is the raw, customizable powerhouse. It's open source, which means you can run it locally, tweak the models, and have complete control over the output. And for anyone serious about image generation, this is the tool to master. Here's why it matters. Stable Diffusion doesn't have content filters like DALL does. You're not going to get blocked for generating edgy or artistic content that some corporate AI thinks is inappropriate. You control the parameters, you control the dataset, you control everything. But it's not just for rebels and artists. Businesses are using it to generate product mock-ups, concept art, and even architectural visualizations. I know a real estate developer who uses it to show clients what properties will look like before construction even starts. They generate photorealistic renders in minutes. No expensive 3D modeling software. No weeks of back and forth with architects. The learning curve is steeper than DALL, sure, but once you get the hang of it, the creative possibilities are endless. And because it's open source, the community is constantly releasing new models, plugins, and tutorials. You're not waiting for OpenAI to roll out a new feature. You're part of a global network making the tool better every day. Number 3, Perplexity AI. Search engines are broken. Google's been getting worse for years. Ads everywhere. SEO spam clogging up the results. Half the time, you have to scroll through 5 pages just to find one decent answer. Perplexity fixes that. Perplexity is an AI-powered search engine that gives you direct answers with citations. You ask a question, it searches the web, analyzes the sources, and gives you a clean summary with links to the original content. No fluff, no sponsored results, just information. I tested this on a research project about renewable energy trends in 2025. I typed, "What are the latest advancements in solar panel efficiency?" Perplexity scanned recent articles, research papers, and industry reports, then gave me a 4-paragraph summary with 8 cited sources. Total time, 12 seconds. If I'd used Google, I would have spent 30 minutes clicking through links and skimming articles. But here's the real advantage. Perplexity remembers context. You can ask follow-up questions without re-explaining everything. What about wind energy? It already knows we're talking about renewable energy trends in 2025. It adjusts the search accordingly. That's how conversations work. That's how search should work. And it's not just for research. You can use it for quick fact-checking, comparing products, or even settling debates. Is coffee actually bad for you? Boom. Evidence-based answer with sources from medical journals. No more arguments with your health-obsessed friends. Number 2, Notion AI. If you're using Notion for notes, project management, or documentation, this is a no-brainer. Notion AI lives directly inside your workspace. You can ask it to summarize meeting notes, generate task lists, draft outlines, or even write full documents based on bullet points. Here's a real use case. I had a team meeting that ran 90 minutes. We covered 12 different topics. My notes were scattered and messy. I pasted them into Notion and asked, "Summarize this into action items with deadlines." In 6 seconds, I had a clean list of tasks assigned to team members with due dates. No manual sorting, no rewording, just done. But the translation feature? Underrated. You can write notes in English and instantly translate them into Spanish, French, Japanese, whatever you need. That's massive for global teams or anyone working with international clients. Notion AI also integrates with databases. You can auto-generate content for recurring templates like weekly reports or client proposals. Set it up once. Let the AI handle the repetitive stuff. You focus on strategy. Teams using Notion AI report saving an average of 4 hours per week on documentation and project management. That's nearly a full afternoon you get back every single week. Number 1, ChatGPT. Yeah, I know, obvious choice, but hear me out. Most people are using ChatGPT wrong. They treat it like a search engine or a simple Q&A tool. But if you learn to prompt it properly, this thing becomes your personal assistant, writing coach, brainstorming partner, and problem solver all in one. Here's the trick. Specificity. The more context you give ChatGPT, the better the output. Instead of saying, write me a blog post, try this. Write a 1-200-word blog post about AI tools for productivity. Use a conversational tone, include 3 real-world examples. Target audience, freelancers and small business owners. See the difference? And the custom instructions feature? Game changer. You can tell ChatGPT once how you want it to respond, and it remembers for every future conversation. Always write in a casual tone. Keep responses under 200 words unless I ask for more. Focus on actionable advice. Boom. Now every response is tailored to your style. But here's where it gets next level. Plugins. ChatGPT now connects to third-party tools. You can ask it to book flights, analyze spreadsheets, generate images, or pull data from live APIs. It's not just an AI chatbot anymore. It's a full workflow automation tool. According to OpenAI's data, ChatGPT users save an average of 8 hours per week on tasks ranging from writing to research to coding. That's not hype. That's real, measurable time savings. So, there you have it. 10 AI tools that could legitimately save you 10 hours a week, maybe more. The question is, what are you going to do with that time? Learn a new skill? Start a side project? Actually take a weekend off without feeling guilty? Because here's the thing, these tools aren't going away. The people using them are getting faster, more efficient, and more competitive every single day. And the ones who ignore AI, they're falling behind. Fast. Now, if you want to see how AI is about to flip the entire education system on its head, you need to watch the video I've got queued up next. We're talking AI tutors that outperform human teachers, essay generators that universities can't detect, and why some schools are already banning students from using their own laptops. It's wild. Links on your screen right now. Don't miss it. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. More AI breakdowns coming your way. Catch you in the next one.